Okay. What do you think, Kevin?
I concur.
Oh. No, I predict that in 2027, the political climate in Michigan is going to be much better.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Stick to the Plan podcast, episode number 96.
96.
I'm Kevin. I'm here with Russ, as always. How's it going, Russ? It's another Monday.
It is another Monday. We missed last Monday.
You missed last Monday. I didn't realize I was missing last Monday.
Yeah.
Until Monday.
Kevin, I've been struggling to remember to try to get guests, and last week was the same problem. And then I ended up with a sick cat.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Uh-oh.
I got them damn cats. And the black one is very territorial.
Yeah.
He is a friendly cat.
He's my favorite cat.
He's friendly to the cats in the house. We even took in this stray. He's cool with it. Let me tell you, if you think you're just going to be a cat strolling through our yard, he ain't down with that one.
No. You got to smell like home.
Yeah, he is not down with it at all. And we'd had problems with a stray coming and messing around, and I'd been chasing him off, and the stray had been fighting with him and the older cat. The thing about the black cat is he's not that good of a fighter. I've seen him fight.
He's still kind of young.
No, he's 4 or 5.
Oh,
so
are they that old now?
Oh God, yeah. But he ain't afraid. But
right.
So anyways, he over the weekend he come in kind of beat up and limping on a leg, and we couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong. And anyways, he was out of it, wouldn't eat and all that.
He had an infection or something?
Got an infection. That's twice now that he's gotten into bang-ups and gets an infection.
Doesn't take care of it.
And so Monday morning, I had to call and run him to the veterinarian, $213. Right. But that included his 3 months of flea and tick medicine.
That's $100, at least $100.
I think it's $60.
For a cat,
for that.
I guess that makes sense.
And but yeah, but he snapped right out. By the way, they give the kitty some pain meds.
Oh, yeah.
I come home and give him that pain med. That cat was out. Man, he was out. He woke up. He was a new guy. Well, antibiotic and a pain med. But anyways, I got like 4 of those pain pills still left. I save them because, you got 4 cats. One of them's going to not feel good. And now I got some meds to.
Do you know that you can give cats gabapentin?
Get this. I've heard that because Sue was telling me that their vet. Adam was saying their veterinarian prescribed one of their cats gabapentin.
They've been prescribing it for animals before they prescribed it to humans. My dog just getting old. I was looking up things I could give her, aspirin, and you can't give them Tylenol or anything. And gabapentin was on the
but how would you know how much to give them?
It's per pound.
Yeah,
you can look it up per pound. I think like literally for like my dog, it'd be like 100 milligrams.
Oh yeah, well, I do that.
They prescribe me 100 milligrams. I take 2 of them, but
I do 100 milligrams a day gabapentin.
Yeah, they have I guess the standard dose is like 600.
Oh really?
That's what the doctor told me.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. Anyways,
the cat's fine.
That's good. The cat's fine.
Cat's fine. But check this out. I haven't seen that stray cat around, so I wonder if Max might have got the better of him. Maybe chased him off. He has not been around.
Cats are kind of smart about that, though. Even if they get the better of somebody, they don't want to deal with that.
So the stray cat, we had his nuts cut off a couple of weeks prior.
Oh, yeah.
And so he could have been coming around because we had a cat.
A female?
No, he's a male.
Oh, right.
And we just had him neutered. But I don't think he would notice that fast. I think the fight maybe scared him off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and they will notice that fast. I mean, they put off a scent constantly.
I guess. So anyways.
I don't know. I'm not a cat guy.
There's some cat stories, and that's why we weren't here last week.
Yes.
I was like, hey, I got shit I got to do, Kevin. Plus, I didn't have a guest anyhow.
Yeah, it was a good day of rest for me. I mean, I had other things to do, so.
Yeah, and then I didn't have a guest scheduled today, and but
yeah, you would even announce that we weren't going to have a guest until this morning, I think, or last night.
I'm just going to assume here, we had a chili cook-off here at the Jackson GOP Saturday. By the way, that was a huge success. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was sponsored by a candidate for SOS, Anthony Ferlini, and candidate for AG, Doug Lloyd, one of our members reached out to them and asked for sponsorship. And, me, I'm going to take their money.
Heck yeah.
And so Tony was up here hanging out for Leany.
Yeah. I was just coming in when he was leaving, so I got to see him in passing. But.
Yeah. They used the podcast studio here to do their, what do they call that?
It was a virtual town hall.
Virtual town hall.
Yeah.
They didn't use the equipment, but they used the room.
Yeah, they just moved some chairs.
Right. And
looks like they used the corner.
So anyways, yesterday, of course, I put that on Facebook that it was a successful. I'm getting a text from Monica Atuma for SOS. Hey, what about me, dude? I'm like, oh. So anyways, I'll announce that now. Monica Atuma is going to be here 6:00 at the Jackson GOP headquarters, 6:00 Thursday, the 26th. So that's 2 days before the state convention for precinct delegates. Yeah. Anybody wants to come up. And she's buying the subs.
Oh, heck yeah.
So we're coming up and eating some free subs by Monica.
I might even come by.
And I sent the invitation to neighboring counties and stuff to get the delegates over for that.
Yeah.
So, and then later in the night, I'm getting text messages from Amanda Love for SOS. Now, me and Amanda are friends. We've become, right. I mean, I would truly say she's a friend of mine. And it started off that way, but I could tell she's like, I would have contributed to that chili cook-off. And so anyways.
Well, it's crunch time for him.
She wasn't asking, but I was like, I can't put you in here another day, man. We're dying up here. We've been so busy. And so then hey, you want to jump on the podcast?
Yeah, might as well. She was great on the podcast. Last couple of times she was on.
So she's going to jump in around 2:30.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for her.
So we do have a guest.
Yes.
Last minute announced guest. Yeah. But check this out. I did my chairman duty.
Oh, yeah?
And not gatekeeped, and I provided access
that's
to everybody the best I can.
Well, yeah, and, that's the thing is we preach it, whether people hear it or not. This isn't a JXN GOP podcast. This is a Russ and Kevin podcast. Unfortunately, they kind of end up looking hand in hand, and so we get that, well, they were on, why can't I be on?
It was last minute when I was texting with Amanda. I'm like, I can't accommodate her. And it was last minute. I'm like, wait, I'll just throw her on the podcast.
Yeah.
Cover the spread. So yes, you're right. We're separate, but the same. And it gave access to all those candidates. So guess what? In 1 week's time, we've covered all three of them again. Kevin, we've had them all on the show anyways.
Yeah. Well,
I think
technically we didn't have Forlini.
Yeah, we did. We had him live. No, we had him remotely.
Yeah, we had to delete the episode.
There was an issue.
There was an incident.
There was an incident.
Not even a big one, but enough.
Didn't we cut out just that incident?
No, you had me delete the whole episode. That's why I was like, I don't want some people going back and looking for it and not finding it.
He did good, too.
Yeah, no, I think that was one of the great interviews.
So because Monica and Amanda's were different interviews, but they were structured the same.
Yeah.
For some reason, we got into a one-on-one different type of conversation with Forlini.
Forlini's on a different level of politics, being a clerk.
Yeah, I guess.
Where because Yatuma isn't a politician or wasn't a politician until now.
No. And Amanda's been in the political business for a long time.
Yeah, it looks like Amanda was most recently school board.
Yeah.
So
and she's been in the political business for a while. But anyways, Amanda Love will be jumping on 2:30 or so.
Karen saying we had subs for Amanda earlier in the campaign. So
we had subs.
We had subs for Amanda. So did you have Amanda here? And
Amanda's been through here a couple of times. You're right. She did a 5th district tour.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
That was a few months ago.
Yeah, that was early.
And we bought subs because her stop in the evening was here.
Yep. They're headed over to Monroe, weren't they? Or we're going the other way.
They started they're heading to Monroe. They went to Lenawee, then Monroe. They started over in Berrien County or something like that. That was a good little idea on their part.
Not bad.
Amanda told me, she goes, they might have seen 100 people that day, but they didn't have anything else scheduled. So why not? You get in the car and you go from one end of the district to the other, and you've seen 100 people that you wouldn't have seen.
And I mean, especially in her position, you need the delegate vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably 100 delegates.
I would think so. Well,
maybe
90,
but that's a lot.
You were still seeing delegates on a day you had nothing scheduled.
Exactly.
So that reminds me,
$50 in gas.
Right, they're spending money on these campaigns like you can't believe. Anyways, my God.
Yeah, I saw some numbers.
By the way, these people running for these positions, the dedication people, you don't understand. Not only the personal dedication, but the financial dedication is no joke. These people are loaning, or they're refinancing their homes. They're borrowing whatever they can do to run these campaigns.
Right.
And so I highly respect.
Oh yeah.
Even if you got a ton of money, do you want to spend $50K just on a risk of not winning?
Yeah.
That's a commitment that it's one of a kind. So I do appreciate all those candidates doing that.
Oh yeah, and that's crazy to me. The whole you have to go to convention and then you go into the general.
Yeah.
Like it is a different kind of campaigning because it's literally just switching gears.
So that you're right. This type of campaign is different than running for governor or state house.
You're not constantly trying to get everybody.
You got to shift gears. And let me tell you, delegates are a different voting crowd than the general public.
Well, it's a guaranteed, should be a guaranteed or educated voting.
Normally, it's the far right. The people that are activated in the party are considered. If you want to put that label on there, they're more far right than my Republican voting neighbors.
They're very conservative Republicans
and passionate
by the letter
about the issues. Where the Republican voting general public probably aren't as passionate about some of those issues.
Right.
We talk about it all the time. You go knocking on my neighbors' doors, and you start off with some of this bullshit that some of these Republicans in the party are on. They're going to slam the door on your face.
Yeah.
They want to talk about normal people shit.
Yeah.
The economy.
Yeah, the economy. War. Or gas prices.
Gas prices. Right.
That's about it.
Hopefully when they start knocking on doors, we ain't got to talk about war.
Or gas prices.
I mean. Hey, I am still in Trump we trust, Kevin.
Yeah, this guy was in my chat this morning. I don't know who he is, but
cool.
Whatever that means to you too.
Oh, is he being an ass?
No, I don't know. It says Azteco Andromeda, and I'm not sure what that means, but he said the same thing in my chat this morning. He might just be out posting to get his channel. But hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Actually, he probably follows the main Grandma's Boy podcast, so it bleeds over.
Well, back to
grocery prices. That's a good one, John.
At this point, supportive of Trump's effort in the Iran war. I'm supportive, but out of everything that he's done so far, this is the toughest one that I'm hanging on to, thinking, okay, Trump, you need to resolve this. You got to resolve the Streets of Hormuz bullshit immediately.
Yeah, and he's trying.
I think he is.
Well, he posted, what was the ultimatum I read today? I'm totally slipping my mind. But he gave him some kind of ultimatum. He's like, basically, you open it, we're going to open it.
He gave him 5 days. We won't bomb the shit out of your stuff anymore. And
they were going to go after the energy.
Yeah, and he's going to work a deal with them.
Yeah.
So here it is, though. And Trump, I trust.
Yeah.
Still. But this needs to be resolved before we start knocking doors for all the candidates for the midterms.
Because there's no argument against it. There's no winning that.
Now, maybe he did this purposely. The timing's perfect. Hey, let's do it now. We wrap it up in 30 days, 60 days, and then it's behind us, and gas prices are so low that we're just spraying gas onto the ground, and eat Trumpitoria. Eporia. What's the word?
Like, I don't know. Let's just go back to 2016. I'd be cool with that. 2016 wasn't a bad year.
Yeah.
Now, my only problem overall with the war, you got to do what you got to do. But he was very clear. Couple weeks.
All right. Well, I find it hard to believe that Trump and his people didn't expect the Straits of Hormuz being so difficult. They had to have known that this was going to be the problem.
I'm worried that Trump isn't listening to his people. Now, apparently his people aren't as reliable. The head of terrorism or whatever,
intelligence and all that.
Yeah, that position holds the highest classified clearance or high security clearance that you can have. So, and he's like, no, they weren't a threat to us. He's kind of ratting them out.
So, well, I do like the fact how he is. He's like, hey, European countries, Japan, and all these, y'all need to help us clear out this Strait of Hormuz because you're the ones using the oil. We're not. Yeah. We're affected by it because it's a global market. But we only bring in like 3% or 5% of the oil from the region. Right. But it does affect our gas prices. And so I do like, you guys open this up and keep it open for us. Well, I see where they're like, well, you're the one that started this shit.
Well, when we've set a precedence, we've always been I made the
Trump don't care about precedents.
Well, apparently he does because literally I've made this before. It's saying that we were the country with the big pockets and all the money and all the power, and we were flaunting it around. It's like that friend that like got an inheritance. He buys all your drinks for a few weeks, and now he's broke, but he's got to keep appearances up. We don't have the money to keep doing what we've done for 50, 60, 70, 80 years.
Trump's been,
but we're doing it.
He's been systematically cutting off the nipple to that.
I mean, he's already
NATO and all that.
But he's got,
like, you're all going to pay your fair share.
He already told us he's already lining up wars. We got Iran, and then right as soon as he's done with Iran, we're going to Cuba. He said that.
Yeah, but I don't think there's an issue with Cuba.
Oh, there is.
I know that, but they're desperate down there. It's not. There's no takeover. It's not like the Iran problem here. We just show up down there and they're like, okay, cool, man.
We hope so.
They have nothing to sell.
I don't know exactly. I actually heard
their commodity. They don't have oil.
I heard you can't get a good Cuban cigar in Cuba.
I've heard that you get a
better one in Canada.
Oh,
that's what
I thought they came from Cuba to Canada for us to get them,
but I don't think they're selling them in Cuba because no one has money to buy them. I guess
we're the ones that strangled Cuba by what we did in Venezuela, because Venezuela was keeping Cuba in existence, and that stream's been cut off. So once again, it's a problem that we've created, but maybe intentionally. Wouldn't you think?
I don't know. I mean, I guess the only upside of Cuba,
it'd be a great place to visit.
Well, yeah, I think of like old times Cuba, like when Cuba was like at the top, and you can basically like take like a bicycle to Cuba from the Keys. So
check this out, Kevin.
Yeah,
they do have an economy, something to sell, and that's them sweet old cars that they all been driving around.
Oh, yeah.
That are spotless, no rust or nothing.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had access to new cars. They drive 57 Chevys and shit like that, man.
And they're a Caribbean island.
All right. This is what I see with Trump. Yep. We got Cuba all straightened out and nothing but Trump hotels and casinos along the shoreline.
Well, that was the joke that he was going to do with
Venezuela would be a good place for all that.
Yeah.
The beaches of Venezuela.
That was a joke he was going to do with the Gaza Strip.
That wasn't a joke. He was serious. He goes, "Oh, we're going to build this into something nice." Now,
well,
here we are.
Yeah, they've been wanting to build that into something nice for thousands of years. And every time they get in a fight again,
we'd have a better chances on success with the beaches of Venezuela and the beaches of Cuba than worry about Gaza Strip. Beach.
Yeah, well, again, you can like take up a short trip to Cuba. You have to jump in an airplane and take a 12-hour flight to Iran.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
No, Venezuela's even not that far.
But that region has Dubai and all these fantastic places to visit. You would hope that something might get created like that with freedom of Iran, right?
I would have hold my breath.
I wouldn't mind going to Dubai.
I mean, I wouldn't go to Dubai. I wouldn't at this point, and it doesn't matter who's the president, really. The last 10, 15 years, I've thought to myself, I don't even want to go to Canada.
No, leaving the country is
dangerous.
I just seen an ad this morning. One of the airlines out of Lansing Regional Airport listed 3 Mexican flights that, super cheap.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, yeah, one of them's Cancun. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
No.
Not even Cancun. I'm not doing it.
No, the resorts are probably still...
Right now, it's too sketchy.
Well... Was it Chris we had a couple weeks ago? He had mentioned, he's like, well, the Virgin Islands are American territory. I'm like, yeah, but if shit goes off, then they can not let those flights come in too. Oh, you're in the American Virgin Islands, but you're not home.
It'd be different, but yeah, I'm not in a hurry to leave either.
No,
you know what?
I don't want to go to Ohio.
I always say there are,
but I don't want to go to Ohio anyway.
There are beautiful resort areas right here in the continental United States. Period. The Carolinas, all of Florida, Texas, Corpus Christi.
Yeah, Texas definitely.
California, Hawaii. Oh my God!
You could have paid me to go. You know what? I'd rather fly to Cuba than California. But
yeah, me too.
That's the thing.
I have no want to go to California. I don't want to go to Hawaii. Liberal, crazy state. And it's like a 12-hour flight. I'm not doing it.
$7 gallons of milk.
I'm
$12 loaves of bread.
I've got.
I can't get Hawaiian rolls cheap there. No, they're not even from Hawaii.
No, they're not. They're made right here in Jackson at Way Bakery.
Yeah.
Who would ever known that? Bill Marshall goes to Hawaii once a year.
I know a lot of people
with his girl Missy. His girl Missy. Missy is.
It looks like Amanda's chiming in.
Oh, look at all those people in our chat. What's going on today? They love Amanda, don't they?
Well, we got John. He's lighting it up.
John doesn't count.
Hold on.
Of course he's on if Amanda's on.
Amanda, if you can hear me, at the bottom of the screen, make sure you hit the microphone and the camera button. They'll have crosses through them. They'll pull you up on our screen. But John Smith was saying, oh, there she is.
Hi, Amanda.
All right, let me move us around.
You gave John Smith the microphone.
They're going to be rough for the Republicans because he said nearly double the amount of Democrats came out to vote in the empty Michigan Senate. The midterms are going to be rough, harder at war. And then he said it could be potentially devastating for Trump and the Republicans.
I read that out of John already.
Oh, I didn't know if you had read that
in a Facebook post.
Oh, he just regurgitates Facebook posts.
Constantly looking for what's going to destroy us. He's got a good point. I take more of a positive view.
I mean, man,
let's finish this Iran thing up and let's get into the midterms.
Yeah. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick a fight with John Smith. You know that's easy.
Oh, well, that's easy. Yeah. Just tell him he's bald.
So,
John, you're bald.
I was explaining that late last night, you and I were texting one another, actually just, kind of shooting the shit. And we'd had your opponent here Saturday, and then another opponent is going to be here Thursday. And I'm like, I got to spread this out a little bit. And I'm like, where can I do it? And I said, let's just put Amanda on the show for a little while. So are you cool?
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I felt serious FOMO after I saw that you guys had an event on Saturday. And, one of the events I went to, I think it was around Christmas time, and Genevieve Peters-Scott, she came too.
Yeah.
I remember she kept referring to Jackson as my hometown after that because I just knew the people. I was well received, and so she thought that's where I was from. She thought that's where I lived. So I always thought that was kind of funny.
We were talking about when you and John did the 5th District tour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Karen chimed in the chat about you were here and we had subs. We bought subs.
Yes.
You bought subs. We bought them. You paid. And then we were talking about, that wasn't like a huge success, but I was talking to you about it, and you had nothing scheduled that day. So you guys started on one end of the district and just hit them on. You said you hit 100 people or something throughout the day. And that's 100 delegates that you wouldn't have talked to if you would have stayed home. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And I
how else am I going to spend my time? That's
right.
5% of the delegation right there.
And so you come up here and you do have supporters in Jackson. You really do. They like Amanda a lot. And that's because you introduced yourself really well then you were back at the Christmas party. And there's only a couple candidates that have been coming around frequently without me asking or begging or jumping through hoops to get you to come. And I appreciate that. There's a candidate for governor, Mike Cox. We can't shake the guy.
No, I think he lives here.
I'm saying this jokingly. Mike has been just pops into more events than any of the governor candidates there are. It's just,
he was here Saturday.
He was here. Here he is, and bought a beer off the bar, and and hung out,
ate some chili.
And I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do in campaigning.
Well,
he was between events.
Names. He remembers everybody's names.
Yeah. He was between events, and he said, "We'll just stop at the chili cook-off." So, but you've done the same thing. I appreciate that, and Genevieve's done that too.
Has she done it more than that time?
Yep. You know, we do have a small Genevieve Peter Scott for U.S. Senate group.
Yeah,
we do, and I appreciate those people doing that. That keeps them busy and not mad at me.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
John,
how are you feeling about the upcoming? Sorry, I was.
Do you have that weird feeling in your stomach?
Yeah, like how's it feeling? How are you feeling about it?
I feel good. I really do. I'm not going to say I'm feeling 100% either way, because that would be naive to say.
Right.
Convention races are very emotional. I've been around a long time. I've seen many convention races. And one person will think they have it in the bag going in. The polling will say that they have it. And then...
Is there polling for this? I haven't really seen any. I'm sure there is. I just haven't looked at them.
Yeah. I pay too much to tell you, but okay. No, I'm just kidding. But really, there is, but you can't poll some of these delegates because they don't want to be polled. Every time there's one sent, I actually get a contradictory, kind of a message to not take them, right? Because
I never answer them.
Yeah, they don't want to give up their vote. Why would they?
Right.
Especially with this particular race, I feel like it's gotten pretty personal and pretty contentious, at least against me.
I'm not surprised, though. We go through this every time there's an endorsement type of convention. It's no different than the others. I hate it. It's stupid.
And talk to somebody who's ran.
We were talking about that. Oh, sorry. Before the show, about how having to switch gears. You know, that's a tough race where you're campaigning to delegates, and then if you make it, then now you're campaigning to everyone. It's different than just a general race.
Yeah, it's an even more of a severe pivot.
Sure.
Sure.
Delegates are different than my Republican voting neighbors. Delegates are different.
I think that you said that word for word. Yeah.
And most general election voters aren't even going to realize that they didn't vote for me in the primary. They're gonna say, "Oh yeah." They don't understand it's a convention. It's a delegate race.
Sure, they don't.
I just learned this year, but I'm also not a delegate, so.
Yeah, you don't. It's something you don't really think about unless you are, in fact, a delegate.
I've been around a decade, and I just figured it out.
Yeah. Well, you're slow to the party, Russ.
I'm slow in general.
Yeah.
But no, I did want to just talk about, just briefly, about electability. I think that's been a hot topic on not just for my race, just in general, and for the gubernatorial race. And I think that I hold a little bit different perspective about it than most. I think that John shares, and a lot of my supporters even, they do share a frustration about, I guess you could say, the establishment, whatever you want to call them. They do feel like they're kind of getting shoved these candidates down their throat, and they're doing that by saying that they're the most electable. And I do want to just challenge that theory. Not that we shouldn't put up electable candidates. I think we absolutely should. What I think, in my opinion, and where it differs from that angle or that faction, is what really is electability, and why is, in this case, Anthony Forlini more electable than I am. And I think that we really need to think about that. Because, and not with him, I think with him, he has proven that he can win elections, although he has lost one. When you take him outside of Macomb County, he didn't perform very well.
I didn't know that.
I
didn't know that until
our interview.
No, I didn't know he'd ever lost one until like the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was a significant loss. You know, he didn't.
Then again, if I was campaigning, I wouldn't bring that one up either.
Was it a Senate race or a
congressional?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's reminding me that we interviewed him on our podcast, and he did tell us that. And that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
I had forgotten until somehow it was surfaced today on social media, and I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know that. So, but all right.
Anyways,
and it's not overly relevant, but it just kind of it just shows that, I mean, if you're looking at that as your only threshold, right? So what is electability to the establishment? In my opinion, a lot of times it can get broken down into money and past running of elections, which is curious to me, actually, because I think that John James is more or less in this category. And, he put up some losses too. So what actually does make him electable in a statewide race? I think we do need to look at that as a party. I've worked my butt off 2 cycles for him to win a statewide race. It didn't happen. So the fact that we should just and I'm not saying we don't put him up. I have nothing against him. I don't take a position in that race. I'm just saying, why is he automatically in our minds? It's something that I question too. Why would he be more electable than someone else? Especially since it's been proven that he actually is not, right? So I think that we need to think about that as a party. I think we need to question that. I think we need to look at more attributes in what electability is. And in my case, I think that we need to look at a few factors. I think that strategy is important. That's something that I bring to the table that a lot of people don't really realize about me. I think I've been underestimated quite a bit. I think that strategy is important because, like you said, we're going to have to pivot into a general. So the notion that, this was the first podcast I did. I didn't really even want to do it.
I remember.
Because there's not a lot of benefit for me to be on record in a general talking about issues that delegates want to talk about, because frankly, they're just such different talking points. The general electorate doesn't get into the weeds on foreign components and machines. They don't. They're not going to. They're going to want to talk about their registration fees. Right. They're going to want to talk about.
We've talked about this with you on the podcast. Yeah. A lot of them don't even know they've learned since 2020 more and more. A lot of them didn't even know that the Secretary of State oversees our elections. They just think about their vehicle registration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely. I think
delegates know.
Delegates know.
Delegates know.
They're more informed base for sure.
And I think that that's important, that I know those issues too. And I do inside and out. I think that most people can't dispute that. I'm not saying that some mistakes maybe weren't made along the way, but I think for the most part, 99% of everything that I talk about, I know inside and out. I've seen it firsthand. I do have experience. I have very relevant experience. People want to fight me on that because I didn't have a very high title in the Secretary of State's office, but I never really claimed to. I said I've seen day-to-day operations of a Secretary of State, and I did, and I have. And I mean, for me to not talk about that would be asinine.
No, that'd be
and I think that when you talk about assistants, the people want to kind of, oh, well, you were just the assistant too. You weren't even, and it's like, well, yeah, but those are the first people that get subpoenaed in a court case because they know everything. I mean, yes, I did drive her. That wasn't my only role.
The assistant to a CEO probably knows more than the vice president of operations. You think about it, because they're there hooked to that person all the time.
And most of the time when there's an assistant, good luck trying to get to the person above them. Usually you have to see the assistant.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
And I think that for someone to even question some people are even questioning that I even ever worked there, or, Mike Cox knows. He saw me. I was attached at the hip because he was Attorney General the same time that Terry Land was Secretary of State.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, he knows. People who have been around, they know.
They claiming that he's not claiming either way. He's not right.
Well, that's silly to me that people would, contest that, because I think it's more silly to me that you would even claim it if you had it. It's not like it's a tiny little race. It's a statewide race. If you were lying about it, it would.
Right. I just lied about having experience in the office. It's pretty silly. Some people are like, well, you have to defend it. And I'm like, I really don't, because.
Is there records of, not that you need to produce them to have that, but there's records of pay stubs or something.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they could. I'm sure you can FOIA requests employment records.
Yeah, and I probably will for the general. I could definitely find some around here. My experience at the Secretary of State's office, we're coming on 20 years, so I don't have them pulled up on my phone.
20 years ago, you didn't know you were going to run for Secretary of State, did you?
No.
No, you're not even remotely close to that thought.
Well, if you make it to the general, just buy a billboard with just a pay stub.
The only reason you're saving your tax stubs back then is to file your income tax returns. That's the only reason. After you filed them and you got your return, you just threw them away.
It wasn't to prove that you worked there 20 years later.
Yeah.
That's the truth, though.
But
we
yeah,
don't have
I
to
think
save check stubs anymore.
No, I haven't had a check. Well, I did actually every serving job up until the last one I've had. I always got a paper check stub. A lot of them said 0 too. I don't know why they spent all that money.
Whatever.
yeah, back in the day with the actual.
How do you think it looks like?
Rip it off.
All right, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm feeling, and I got to tell you right now, Amanda, my predictions in state conventions, the last 2 in a row, have been way off.
Okay.
Way off. I used to be pretty decent at it. No, they're unpredictable to me. But I see you and Ferlini in the runoff. And I assume you're expecting that yourself. Is that what you're preparing for here? Are you prepared to say that?
Well, I was prepared to say that 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that that's not going to be the case now, but I think you probably saw in Jackson, and maybe I'm wrong, but what I'm finding statewide, and this is what I do for a living. I mean, believe it or not, whether, but I do run campaigns. I'm a strategist at heart. So I look at
you and I talked in depth about that.
Yes.
I didn't know that about you, but you and I had a phone conversation. And matter of fact, you gave me some advice on a person running for state representative.
Yeah. And my predictions are very accurate. I've won many bets through the years. I remember during a staff meeting when I worked for Terryland, I predicted every single House race correctly that she was helping on. And anyway, that's that really caught her attention. I remember that.
I'm going to give you a call for the rest of my bracket. That not doing so well.
And there are professional people out there that will predict regular races every cycle. There's somebody who gets it right almost every time.
I'm sure.
It's based on, and that's really why I want to challenge the electability argument, because there's cultural factors that come into play. But as far as your question about the runoff, like I said, 2 weeks ago, that was probably what I thought. That was what I thought. But however, I saw such low turnout throughout every county that they were seating anybody who showed up. That was just, and so all these places, and I'm not going to name names, or I'm not going to name counties because I don't want to knock anything, but ultimately the strategy typically of some of these chairs who I thought were going with certain people.
Did they stack the deck?
They weren't able to. They didn't have the numbers. So there wasn't very many slates ran. If there were slates ran, they were grassroots or America First slates. They weren't establishment slates. So a lot of these establishment strongholds, they had to seat everybody. And here's the facts. They don't know who all of these people are. They want to say that they do. They don't know every single person because they're not doing the work. They're not calling through every single person and identifying them. And if they're trying, the people aren't answering, because the grassroots at this point, they know why you're asking. And so the establishment will try to kind of push a candidate on them. And they just sit there and they smile and they nod along because they know what's going on. So they shut their mouth because they want to get seated. And that's what happened a lot of places across the state. So that put Monica back in the field. She's back in the field.
Okay.
And that's just a fact. And I think that it's really going to be a close race. I don't think anybody's going to get the 50%. I think I look the best, quite frankly, for a second ballot round.
But your 2 week ago prediction has changed, and you think you need to worry about Monica.
I think that I need to worry about them equally.
I think that's fair. Never underestimate your opponent.
Yeah, I get it too. To put automatically Ferlini in the runoff, I guess, is naive of me.
It's not inevitable.
You're all at a kind of a even field in your mind, huh? In your prediction.
In my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to go into it. I mean, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you never know. And like I said, emotional, it's turned on a dime, but you never underestimate an opponent. I think that, I think one of my opponents certainly underestimated me at the beginning.
I think a lot of people did, Amanda, including myself.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I did, and I've
And
told
that
you
might have
that,
been
and
part of my strategy because, at first I did have a weakness. I didn't public speak as strongly as I do now. I
you
needed
do
some work
well. You do
there.
better on podcasts now.
Well, thank you.
I've personally seen you come a long way from the first time I saw you here at the office.
Yeah.
I don't remember which event it was to. I mean, the last time was at the forum.
Well, even if you were making up your resume, you are the most creative candidate of the bunch. You have come up with ideas just easy to think of. Someone else should have thought of ideas. You've done that better than any of the candidates, from the ID, labeling IDs to all kinds of stuff. And so I was quick to realize it doesn't matter what your resume is. I knew you were smart enough for the job.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think that I really do appreciate that compliment, and I knew you saw that in me from the beginning, which is why I liked you so much. But it's actually not creativity, I think, and I appreciate that compliment. But like you said, I think it often comes down to Occam's razor, which is, often the simplest solution is the best.
Yeah.
And I really think that our government is lacking that. And I think that it takes somebody that has, and you want to call me a Lansing insider or whatever, that's fine. But I've seen the system. I know how it works. And that's one thing that they lack is common sense solutions. I mean, you should see the flow chart to road funding. I mean, it's massive. It
No,
blows
thank
your
you.
mind.
I
But
like that.
it's like I want to make sure that all of my registration fees go directly to roads.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be a huge feat. There's going to be so much red tape. There's going to be so much
Pushback.
places where people are pulling it and pulling it away along. And that's really not what we need. We need a common sense leader who's seen the system, who's even seen it, let's say, from a staffer's perspective. I think we need to really challenge again, just because you've held a lot of public offices before, that gives you a certain skill set, yes. But does it really make you aware of how you need to fix the issues from the inside? Or does that make you more of a go along, get along statesman type personality? Maybe you're able to delegate well, which again, a good skill set, but ultimately, I don't think that's what we need in this role this time. I think we need somebody who's ready on day one, who knows how the system works, someone who understands fully what role everything plays. There's been a lot of campaign promises by all of us, and I think I'm the only one who really understands directly how to get some of these things done, what takes a 2/3 majority, what takes
Right.
all of that. I know the people in the places
You
where I
can't
need to
just
know.
wave wands and
Yeah.
have things change.
No, you
There's,
can't. But
there's
I'll take
legislative
the example of,
processes and
yeah,
oh
but
yeah.
that Eric system, for
Right. You
example.
can't just day one say we're done with Eric. There's probably
I'm just
Well,
contract.
here's
hoops you got to jump through to make it go away.
you can withdraw. See, and that's a very subtle difference I want to bring up between me and one of my opponents. I think that there was a mailer put out that says eliminate Eric. You can't eliminate Eric. It's not ours to eliminate. 25 states are a part of it. You
Right.
can't eliminate it. But on day one, you can withdraw Michigan from it, from paying dues to it. And that's what I intend to do. And that's what I
Are
always
you
do.
certain there's not a contract or where we're obligated to those dues or anything?
There
how
is
do
a
we know?
contract,
Okay.
but I'm not going
Did we get
to.
sued on that contract? Might be worth the lawsuit though.
Yeah, well, there's something that, and that's why they do these third party agencies,
Mhm.
is because they can't get FOIA. They're not subject to FOIAing. So you can't FOIA Eric. So no, I actually don't know. So I guess I don't actually know what the contract says with them. I don't know how much dues we're paying with them because I can't FOIA them. And our Secretary of State isn't telling us. So like I said, okay, I can withdraw us if there's an outstanding contract for a certain amount of months, and I would have to weigh the options, either take the loss
Right.
until it expired or take the
The
lawsuit.
point is, just like it and a lot of things, people can say day one things, but on day one you got to go in and look and say, okay, what can we do day one and what can we begin to do on day one? There's things that have to be considered. We don't know what Jocelyn Benson's been doing that we've only scratched the surface on. My God, there's going to be so much stuff to fix that we're only you probably have a better handle on what the might be than I do. But you don't know what you're walking into.
Yeah, who knows what's planned down the line too.
By the way, I got a new neighbor, and he
yeah?
introduced himself, and I thought he said his name was Eric.
Yeah.
And I said, I already don't like you.
You tried to eliminate him?
I probably will. But then my wife said, no, he didn't say Eric. And I don't know how I screwed. I'm serious. I'm telling a real life story here.
I believe you.
He said Devin.
That's not even close.
I know it, but I swear to God, he said Eric.
You got it on the mind.
Maybe I was on the muscle that day. I already didn't want to like my new neighbor. So,
yeah. Just out of curiosity, I thought I pulled something up before the show just to kind of refresh myself. Have you ever AI'd yourself in your other candidates, your opponents?
Have you Gemini'd yourself?
I specifically use Gemini, but
John has. I don't do that, but he's
would
done
you
like
like
a
to know
contest
what it came up with?
I don't know.
It's not bad.
He has it.
I have it right in front of me.
If you're ready to hear it, he has it.
Okay,
It's funny because the way I have my Gemini set up is just because of other ways I use it. It gives me two approaches. It gives me like a kind of more hard-nosed approach and then more like a professional approach. But this was the hard-nosed one. This is usually the more, I guess, I don't want to say truthful, but definitely more hard-hitting. It says, Amanda Love, the grassroots firebrand with baggage. Love is leaning into the constitutional advocate and anti-DEI lane. She's positioning herself as a true conservative who knows where the bodies are buried because she's worked inside the SOS and AG offices before. The drama, her own sister, I won't even say the name, that went scorched earth on Facebook recently, calling her a snake and urging delegates to stay away, the kind of family laundry being aired right now, blah, blah, blah. The reality, she's largely self-funding. Dropped about $100K of her own cash. If she can pivot away from the personal attacks, she has a shot with the grassroots who want a warrior.
That's funny.
If you haven't done it before, I was like, that was. Usually Gemini doesn't come that hard.
Amanda,
that was hard hitting.
Amanda, my Gemini sounds a lot better than that one. But although that was good and bad, you know how they just did that?
Well, there's a nice one.
I mean,
All right, let's hear the nice one.
The nice one is Amanda Love is a Clarkson School Board trustee who marks herself as a constitutional advocate. She has a diverse background as a policy analyst and has served with the Michigan legislature and executive branch. Key focus, her campaign is built on parental rights, transparency, and fixing a broken system from the inside. Perspective, she is the only candidate with experience working directly with the SOS office under previous Republican leadership, giving her a unique vantage point on internal reforms. Which, that sounded way nicer.
Let's go with B.
I was going to say that.
A wasn't bad.
No,
when they praised hard and good.
Yeah, but when they did it, they did it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're curious at all about.
Let's hear the opponents.
The opponents, we got Anthony Forlini, the resume candidate. Forlini is playing the experience card hard as Macomb County clerk. He's basically saying, I already do this job at the county level, so I'm the only adult in the room. The pro, he's got the heavyweight endorsement of Candace Miller, which is gold in Michigan GOP circles, and has been knighted by Italy. No joke. He has been knighted by Italy.
Oh, has he?
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
I don't know how that plays in. But anyway, the con, he's a systems guy. In a year where the base wants to burn the system down, his pitch about standardizing best practices might sound too much like business as usual for the MAGA crowd, which is kind of what you touched on. Pretty close. And then that was the hard one. And then the Monica.
That's the hard one?
That was the hard one. The Monica Atuma one is strangely short. But it says the modernizer in the shadows. Atuma is the tech and business candidate. She talks a lot about modernizing and streamlining. But she's been a bit of a ghost in the media lately, dodging interviews and staying quiet. The gossip. Rumor has it her campaign may have had a hand in Amanda Love's sister drama, which might backfire and make her look like a political operative than a leader.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, those were the rough ones. They were really nice to Anthony Forlini.
Yeah, well, that's. But they made it. Again,
chew on that one, Amanda.
They made him sound a little boring, a little status quo, a little, toast.
Well, and that's what they said
toast.
is that especially Forlini is is very much a we're trying to burn the system down, start new. Do we really want to go business as usual?
They weren't friendly with Atuma, I'll tell you that.
No.
I mean, that was, yeah.
And then the friendly one, I mean, is
the friendly one for who?
Forlini. Anthony Forlini brings the most direct administrative experience to the race, currently the Macomb County clerk and former state representative. His platform centers on election integrity that build public confidence. The key focus, he advocates for secure, auditable voting systems and standardizing training for the election workers across all jurisdictions. Track record. His office in Macomb has received the national awards for operational efficiency, and he emphasizes a no-nonsense approach to government bureaucracy, which that actually kind of sounds, and anytime you hear bureaucracy, for some reason, it seems negative, even though I know what it's saying. And then Monica is a strategic partnerships director with a background in business development. Her campaign presents her as a political outsider who can bring private sector efficiency to the Department of State. Key focus, Yatuma's platform is heavily focused on technology and modernization to reduce the bureaucratic friction that leads to long wait times and confusing systems. Perspective, she argues the SOS office should function like a modern-day service provider, prioritizing the residents' time and taxpayer dollars. So that was like the nice professional one.
Chew that one up, Amanda.
Yeah,
what do you got?
That's a lot of information.
What do you got, Amanda?
I think that it's funny. I think part of it's right on. I think part of it totally misses the mark. Mm-hmm. It's hard though. You have to live a delegate race to fully understand it.
I imagine.
To say that endorsement is gold in a delegate race, I would fundamentally disagree. Not to say it's necessarily.
You're right.
You're
right about that. Right.
I think that would be something certainly more usable in a general.
I agree.
Than a delegate race. I think that he led very strongly with that at the beginning, and Macomb's kind of its own animal. You know who he is. You love him or you hate him, right. And that's just kind of it. I don't think it translates that way automatically throughout the state. That's my take. I've never met somebody that lives on, up in the UP and says, oh, well, it's pretty much convoluted because I used to work for another Secretary of State. He's endorsed by this Secretary of State. I think it gets a little lost in translation there. I do think that some of it's right on, though, definitely. And it certainly is understood kind of the lanes, which is not as clear as it's been in other years. But I think that they did kind of nail Forlini's in the sense that he is kind of this is the status quo candidate.
Yeah, that's kind of how AI generally. I use AI a lot just for information like this, just to kind of get my brain going. Usually, it's you got to kind of pick around the baloney, and
that's the thing. Maybe not so much with delegates. I would hope not. There's definitely other ways that you get to know the candidates. But you take Gemini for example. I think everybody's got the Google search bar right on their phone. When you get your phone, there's a Google search bar, and so myself, who doesn't mess with AI a lot, but I find myself on Gemini quite often, and so I think your general election voters are going to probably pick up their information from Gemini. Right. Sources like that.
Well, it's probably the sources that Gemini pulls from. Like
sure.
The major search engines.
And those sources are going to change depending on how the endorsement convention goes, right?
Yeah, well, specifically, I just put in profiles for each candidate. And but it specifically went into, well, since the endorsement convention is Saturday, here's the info. So it definitely did pull more towards the candidate, but it's it's not a delegate, so
yeah, right.
It's just going off of what any normal average person would see.
But I'm gonna own some of the titles. I think that that's what people do like about me is that I am honest. I think they're tired of the typical politician answer of avoiding everything. I am a grassroots fighter. I take strong positions on things. But ultimately, what I want to take away from this interview is that I am a winner. I do have that in me. I don't lose races. That's not something that nobody likes to, but that's just not something that I would put myself through. I wouldn't do this to the party. If I really thought that my baggage, which I certainly have some, I think everybody has some in their personal life.
Jesus, if you knew my life story.
If I thought that that translated into a criminal record, or that's not something I would do to the party. But I think that most general election voters have had situations where they can look at me and say, "Wow, she really she got through that. She has resiliency. She is a fighter, not just somebody who says she's a fighter." I think that that's a lot of times grassroots candidates can go up to the microphone and scream how they're a fighter, but they don't have the experience that I do, not just in my professional career, but in my personal life. Anybody can say that they're pro-life if they planned a child after they were married. That's easy.
Right. Yeah.
Try doing what I did. That was hard. That was hard to stay pro-life during that time. But I got through it, and here we are. I think that that's going to really translate to voters in the general. They want a real person. I have proven my ability to fundraise. I have put in about 50 grand of my own. That's a very common thing to do. I don't know why I'm the only one getting heat for it, but I invested in my own campaign. It's not debt. It's an investment that I put in to my campaign. It doesn't mean that that's all that my money came from, though. I've gotten way more than that in donations.
Nice.
Right. So, that's a little silly.
See, I didn't take it that way when I read it, but
I'm getting
I took it like, oh, that's awesome. But I could also see the other side of it. And that's a very delicate look at it, I believe.
Last reporting, though, weren't you consistently the money leader in this race?
So I definitely was the first quarter, and but the second quarter, I think that I don't remember exactly what it was. I know that Forlini did raise more than I did the second quarter, but I don't think it was more than I I think I still had the most cash on hand, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's two different numbers. There's how much you raised, and then you deduct that from how much you've spent. And so how much do you have left?
Sure.
Right, so I should probably know those numbers right now, but I know how much cash on hand I have. I have not kept on track with how much.
I don't know as a candidate, because all right, I see the reports. Let me tell you, when reporting comes out, I don't run to check it to see where the candidates are. Maybe candidates should do that. I don't.
Candidates probably should.
No, I see the reporting. And I usually I wasn't even looking at your reporting. I'm looking the governor ones because it's in the headlines somewhat,
It's easy to find too.
Easy to find. I don't know. Is it that important to delegates? Is it that important to general election voters? I don't think it matters. It's going to be messaging.
Exactly. And I think that in a convention race, they're not expensive. There's a small voting pool.
I'm going to be somewhat challenging here.
Yes.
And you can go with this any way you want. You said it earlier about establishment picks and correlating. I think you were trying to correlate the establishment picks in the SOS races in correlating it to the so-called establishment pick in the John James race. And
yeah.
Okay. I've got a funny story. So, all right, let's clear this up right now, and everybody knows how I am. I am not a John James fan. I do not want him to be the nominee. But at the end of the day, if he is the nominee, I will work harder for him than most people, okay? And you know that, and everybody knows that. That's how I am.
I do.
But I was talking to somebody at a fundraiser, establishment types, okay? And they were asking, why is the grassroots pushing this John James guy so much? And I went, what the F are you talking about, right? The establishment class that I know, the donor class that I know, and I don't know the DeVosses. I'm only talking about the establishment donor class in Jackson County, okay? Their impression was that the grassroots was putting up John James. And I says, no, we thought it was you guys.
Pointing fingers at each other.
So my point here is there's a bunch of hooey going on about establishment back in John James and grassroots back in John James. So please don't correlate that into the SOS race. Okay, maybe it goes back to what's the definition of establishment? Where is the line? Where is it?
I think we need to talk about that too.
Drives me nuts. And one day we will. Well, hopefully we will. But I thought that takeaway from that conversation that day said a lot to me. So if you take the John James, and I know Perry Johnson's spending money like crazy to discredit John James, you go Perry Johnson, do your thing.
Yeah.
Then that name recognition comes by simply that he's a sitting congressman. He's run so many campaigns over the last several years.
You see his signs everywhere.
That's the name people know. So when they do the polling, that's the name that keeps surfacing. It's not created by, okay, we could take the super duper donor class, and yeah, maybe they're propping James up, but that super duper donor class doesn't roll down into the establishment donor class that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to chime in on that or not. The correlation to the SOS race is where I kind of why I brought that up.
No, that's interesting. I didn't know that about that they kind of thought, wait, why are you pushing them? We're pushing them. I mean, I do remember the headlines. Remember when John James got $5 million from a donor family?
Yes,
I think that really cemented it for the grassroots, right?
I think that was right.
Yep. But also,
then they tried to pull back some. Well, we're not giving it to him now, or whatever that it was. I don't know, but I recall it well.
It's like one of those things you can retract all you want.
Maybe my suggestion to you, because you don't need. Please don't comment on what I was just referencing. That's a conversation you and I will have another day.
Sure.
But when you correlate it to the SOS race, I'd be careful with that. And Amanda, I know you run your own campaign. You are a campaign person, but you have people working for you. You can't do it on your own. And just put that in your mind a little bit. It's just a tasty bit of information, isn't it?
No, that is. It's very interesting. I think that we need to just kind of have a talk as a party, and let's talk about what the establishment even means. And I think that
you know what though, if we ever have that conversation, if you're the acting SOS, I doubt we're going to have that conversation like that. So let's not hope for that. I mean, I guess we're friends.
But no, I think that I think why I am appealing in a delegate race is I think I'm the only candidate people are very confused by me. They want to know who's running my campaign. They ask prodding questions. Looking at my reports, they don't see much. I don't have a consulting firm. That's something that people can't really wrap their head around. But I ultimately don't feel the need for one because I know what to do. And what to do is to talk to delegates. That's really all you have to do. And I don't need to pay somebody $5 or $10 grand a month to tell me that. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. But
I get it.
Yeah, but I think that I've been able to kind of pull support, if you will, from both factions because I don't really subscribe to titles and names. I don't associate. My values are grassroots. That's what it is. So if you want to call me the grassroots candidate, that's fine. But you don't have to. And I'm not only riding to one lane. I'm riding on the issues. I'm running on common sense solutions. And that's why people really resonate with me because on day one, I've just been talking about what I'm going to do. I think that other campaigns have been focusing on what either they have done or even about other candidates, whereas I just keep pushing forward and moving along. And I think that it's a conversation that we really need to have about unity. I think that both sides talk about it, but a lot of times unity can mean something to one party and not to the other.
Unity does get better. It doesn't get solved after primaries, but it does get better. We're in silly season right now, pre-convention, and then it'll calm down, and then we'll all worry about the primaries. And then as we get a month out from primaries, we'll be in silly season again. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say, oh, well, this silly season with leading into the endorsement convention is the worst I've ever seen. I don't think it is. It's about the same pile of shit.
I would probably agree with you. But I think that you and I had a private conversation that we'll see who stays around and who doesn't.
We did have that conversation,
and
Amanda.
I think that what people know about me is that I'm going to stay around no matter what. You can't get rid of me that easily.
We can't shake you?
No.
Okay.
So and I think people respect that. You can't stay in.
Hey, you might have to move to Jackson and join the Jackson GOP.
Hey, I will. I will. I love Jackson. I love Michigan. I've lived.
Housing is cheap. A lot of lakes to live on.
There is. Yep. We both live on lakes. We know that.
Yeah.
But no, I think we need to cut through the noise. We need to vote on actual, real electability, real ideas, and that's me. And that's my final pitch. And I love you guys. And come to my breakfast on Saturday. Whether you
I am riding up super early. I get picked up at the Menards in Jackson at 6:30. We'll be in Novi at 7:30 in the morning.
And he'll be on time, I promise, because I know his ride isn't going to be late.
I have Todd Gilman's dad's funeral Friday night.
Oh, I didn't know
downriver. So, but I didn't have plans to go over to Novi Friday night anyhow. As we're getting closer, a lot of people are either going over and staying. Jackson's not far from Novi, 50 minutes
trip.
And now people are going to stay, and then there is a couple of groups that are going over Friday, coming home because they want to hit the parties, and then going back in the morning. I didn't have plans to do any of that. I was just going to come Saturday any darn ways, and then Todd's dad passed away, and so I'm going to go over to that funeral. But but yeah, I told you a couple months ago, breakfast is my favorite.
I love breakfast.
All right.
I will be there Saturday morning.
You guys are great. And
I used to go to conventions and get in on the night before parties, and I have woke up the next morning on convention morning barely able to make it to the convention hall. And I'm too old to do that anymore. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amanda.
Sorry if the Gemini actually stabbed at you a little bit there, but
she's going to Gemini herself.
If it makes you feel any better, I did Gemini about the budget report and stuff, and they're much nicer to you. I mean,
well, good.
I'll leave that up to you to check on that.
Thank you, Amanda. Good luck, and I will see you Saturday.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, thank you guys.
Bye.
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 I like the Amanda.
I like her. She's easy to talk to, which is hard to find. And I mean, before now, I've barely talked to any politicians in my life, and I've talked to a lot of politicians. Yeah, and I mean, most of who we've had. I'm
staying out of the race. I've stayed out of the race the whole time, Kevin.
Yeah, you've done well.
I did screw up, and I jumped into that AG race, and that took a turn, and I'm still not saying who I'm supporting there either.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to you privately about who.
If a delegate asked me, I would in the AG race.
For the SOS race, though, I like Amanda a lot.
I think we're lucky. No, you and I, especially you. I know Monica a little bit more than you, but I don't know Monica. I don't know Monica very well. I just recently got to know Anthony Ferlini a little bit. I don't want to.
I know him a little bit better. I know Amanda the best because she has been around. I mean, that's really what it is.
Me and Amanda, we've become friends. I think we will be friends for a very long time, whether she's the SOS or not. She has become a friend of mine. So I will say that.
Yeah, and then that's tough. That's tough when, especially in your position, to have a friend, but you also are, your position, you kind of overlook that.
With the endorsement of Kevin Kiefsky, as early as I did, was a very rookie mistake, and I'm not a rookie. And I'm not saying I'm not supporting Kevin. I like Kevin. I think Kevin Kiefsky as an AG, I think for that first term, I'd love to have someone just pushing the envelope and just doing the Kiefsky thing, where I think Doug would probably play it a little straight and narrow. But then again, and I don't feed into electability over BS with a ex-wife or anything like that.
No, that
I do look at electability, and I do concern myself one way or another, but I'm not. I think they're both electable.
No, I think but they're very different candidates. But it's like almost if you could combine them,
right.
Can we elect both of them?
By the way, though, that Doug Lloyd is a cool guy.
I like Doug. I mean,
for a longtime prosecutor attorney guy,
yeah, laid back.
He's a good guy, and he's squeaky clean. Though.
Yeah,
he is squeaky clean.
Yeah, you know that actually. I mean, you weren't the only one. I was a big Kievsky fan. I think what Kievsky, the reason that stuff like that happens is because he is immediately appealing.
Yeah.
Where Doug takes a second to warm up his engine, but when he gets going, he's going.
Yeah. It's like a big diesel.
Yeah, exactly. You got to warm it up. You have to have it hooked up to the heater.
Once he's going, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, though, he comes up a lot stronger now than he used to. I remember in the very beginning, I was like, ooh,
yeah.
Kievsky's going to chew this guy up. And it didn't take long before.
Yeah, it's because Kievsky, like I said, comes out immediately.
He
dressed nice, presents himself well.
Well, and he had to jump on the campaign. It didn't take long before Doug Lloyd was hitting his marks.
Well, and that's the difference.
He's a trained attorney.
Yeah, that's the difference between the two, though. I mean, Kievsky is a defense attorney, an active defense attorney. You know, Doug Lloyd, as a prosecutor, he's not trying as many cases.
But I guess he's the type of prosecutor that he does. He does get in the courtroom more than a lot of prosecutors
I can see that, but I mean, you know, as a defense attorney like Kievsky is, he's got to run in the court like hot. I know we're running low on time, but do you want to hear what Gemini said about the AG candidates?
Yeah, go ahead.
The same thing. I mean, okay. Boop, 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 boop. All right, candidates for Attorney General. Is this the nice one? Hold on. What happened? Oh, right here. Okay. This is the hard-nosed approach, they call it. Doug Lloyd, the pro's pro. He's the Eaton County prosecutor with 52 other prosecutors backing him. He's a safe bet if you want someone who knows their way around a courtroom, not just a Twitter feed. Kevin Kievsky.
Yeah.
A defense attorney and former Catholic school's head. He's leaning hard into the law and order in the Second Amendment lane. He's explicitly calling for investigations into voter fraud, aiming directly at the MAGA base.
Well, Gemini gave, in my opinion, the leg up in those. Kievsky sounded more appealing in the Gemini.
Yeah, it was weird
phrasing than they did Lloyd.
And here's the nice one. And sometimes the nice one is the Eaton County prosecuting attorney with over a decade of experience, which as a head prosecutor, which he has. He's been a prosecutor for 30 years?
I think so, because assistant or
okay,
elected.
So maybe just because of the head.
Yeah.
Lloyd is running on a platform of seasoned legal expertise and has secured the endorsements of a majority of Michigan's Republican county prosecutors, which he has.
He has, and sheriffs, a lot of them.
And then Kievsky, a defense attorney and former superintendent of Catholic schools for the Archdiocese of Detroit. His key pillars are protecting constitutional freedom, supporting law enforcement, and ensuring election accountability. Not as much information as what they gave us for the the Secretary of State. They were
no, those are short and sweet.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'll tell you
what, they
what,
would have done that for the.
You know what wins with delegates? Bring up election integrity.
Oh,
you know what doesn't win as much with voting public? No, it is a topic with voting public. It is.
I think it's overplayed. I think they're tired of hearing it.
I think you're right. But listen, if you're trying to take one step at a time and you want to appeal to delegates, the banner of election integrity is the one. Now you might have to pivot hardcore coming out of that. I think it still needs to be at the top of your campaign if you win the nominee. But
I think it's going to be the top of everyone's campaign.
It better be there, but I don't think it needs to be your number one Gemini feed. Maybe I don't know. I'm talking crazy here, just top of my head.
Kind of just gathering what I read just now. Second Amendment is another one that I think probably doesn't appeal as much to the delegates or the general voting public as much because it's been beat over our heads over and over. And then we see what happened in Virginia.
You're probably right, but I wish I hadn't said that because I don't want that to be the case.
Yeah, I don't want it to be the case either.
I don't know. I do live in an area where people like to carry their guns, so.
Yeah, I mean,
and I do live in an area where election integrity is important. I think about my immediate neighbors, and that's not. Let's go back to they're always right now. So whatever's the flavor of the month is what they're concerned about. Gas prices, grocery prices. How is it going to help their day-to-day life? Is where they really want. What they want to hear.
And I think that gas prices has been a thing. I mean, as long as I've been a voting adult
and beyond.
It started before then. Grocery prices, I think, are become more of a thing. But you know what? I have seen
it's been better.
I went to the store and I only spent $35 instead of $50, and I was like,
all right,
I almost felt like I had to buy something.
I do my grocery shopping. I shop 3 days a week.
Right.
It averages about $30 a day for me and my wife to eat, and my wife weighs not 100 pounds.
Yeah, right.
All right. It's not just eating; it's groceries, meaning toilet paper, paper towel, paper plates, everything. It averages about 30 a day, and just recently, the last few trips to the store, it's coming a little lower.
Yeah, my $30 I spent it was $35, but that was 3-4 days worth of groceries for me. It's just me though.
No, and I'm a little high. Sarah and I don't. We buy high-end paper towel and toilet paper.
So do I.
We buy the shit that we want, and we rarely don't. We eat whatever we want. We're like, hey, let's have crab legs. We're having freaking crab legs. Now, let me tell you, I will say, I might have said this on the show. We haven't been buying beef as much lately.
I haven't. I skipped the beef.
We used to be a once a week, eat a ribeye couple, and now it's maybe once a month.
I stopped buying hamburger, and I'm a huge hamburger. I love
burgers.
Making a burger, or
I'm still buying the burger, but I'm with you, Kevin.
I skipped it this time, and it was lower, but I was like,
pork's where it's at.
Oh, I went and bought some chicken wings. I wanted chicken wings anyway, but
pork and then chicken is where it's at when it comes to the meat department.
Oh,
it really is.
Crap! I missed a question for Amanda from Karen.
No.
Karen can get all. She was asking about the SOS website. By the way, Lance is in the chat. He says SOS needs some love, and haters gonna hate.
Yeah, they are, Lance.
Oh yeah, wait. Yeah. And what's going on over?
None but love today.
Groceries, housing,
none but love, Amanda. Love.
Groceries pricing. Groceries, housing, gas prices are the issue of the day. Holy fuck! It's been a goddamn. Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's it is flavor of the week though. It alternates between them. Right now, it's gas prices, oil prices.
It is,
and
they don't care what their scheme is. They just know we're paying close to $4 a gallon. You can say why. It's a global market. Well, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, your car doesn't take.
All premium. I know is we bombed the shit out of Iran and our gas prices went up. That's all people know or care about.
Yeah. And like I said, your car doesn't take premium, so I don't even want to hear anybody complain about it.
I really wish I would have bought an electric car.
I don't.
No, me neither.
Teslas are kind of sweet, but I wouldn't.
I see there's less on the road. By the way, I see now you can buy them used pretty cheap.
You could buy them new pretty cheap. If you want,
I know you can buy a $35,000.
Yeah, if you want a high-end Tesla, it'll cost you $100,000. But if you want your standard run-of-the-mill, $35,000, you can buy used ones for $5,000.
I seen one on Marketplace that was like $79.99 or something for a Tesla. I don't know what the miles was on her or anything about it, but I didn't know.
Well,
it might be right down here to Marshall Motors.
It would have to be hours, right? Do they run
right. Well,
I'm assuming
there's still miles.
Yeah, but it's like lawnmowers have miles technically, but they run off of hours.
My boat.
Yeah, they run off of hours, right? I don't know how that works.
I know there's no miles per gallon. There's miles per charge. All right. Are we done?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Some announcements. I got some announcements.
I'm just making sure there was nothing in the chats. Nothing.
We did pretty good in the chat today here.
Yeah, Roy Rack popped in, and he's always good for the chat. Lance, because you don't have the Facebook chat over there, but we had Lance and Karen on the Facebook side. So no, it was a good chat. Good chat.
All right, I'm glad people take time out of their busy day to watch us live. Yeah. Oh, none of those people have jobs.
No, well, and Roy Rat lives in Arizona, so he's dealing with a very similar.
Did he just wake up?
He's retired, so
maybe.
maybe.
Well, my people are retired too.
Yeah, I mean, it is
whatever it is.
Well,
Or their job is politics.
I'll say, is John retired?
It's politics. A lot of people in my world, their job is politics. I don't know how they get paid. I don't get paid for shit. I'm out of pocket. Some of these people figure out a way to get paid. All right, some announcements. JXNGOP.org.
I will pull that up.
That's where people can find all their information. I got a sad story for you.
That guy right here.
So leading into the chili cook-off, Amy Hawkins, who works for the Anthony Ferlini, was all worried about attendance at the cook-off.
Right.
That's her job to do that. And Ferlini was a sponsor. And anyways, she texted me of something about the sheriff not knowing anything about it. And I said, well, the sheriff should know about it. I invited him to be a cook with a direct text message. Well, Kevin, I got looking at my text. I forgot to invite the sheriff. But this isn't why I bring this up. I'm like, okay, we have been sending out email blasts to delegates and especially executive committee members, and the sheriff is on the executive committee. He must be getting the emails, right?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
And so I texted him, hey, Mr. Sheriff. Yeah, how you doing, bub? But anyways, he's
Did you accidentally text Rick LeMasters?
No. I wish Rick was the
sheriff. You use the same voice when you talk about Rick LeMasters. Anyway,
Rick should be the sheriff.
I would vote for him.
I would. Gary, you're out.
So I mean, that's tough.
But I said, hey, Sheriff, is this your email address? And he goes, yeah, like 9 years ago. I don't never check that email. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I heard Dave say that at the chili cook-off about the...
And so he sent me the email that he checks several times a day. I do not know how many times I have said in meetings and anywhere I go, please, if you would, we fundraise or do events every month. We are so busy up here, and you need to check the website, and you need to make sure we have your contact information. Are still to this day our primary way of communication is through email,
especially if you're an elected official.
Let me think about this. So it must be on his calendar. He knows every second Thursday of the month there's our executive committee meeting.
Right.
So he's not getting our emails with our agenda. He just
shows up.
It must be on his calendar. Or if he doesn't make it, he always texts me, "Hey Russ, I can't make it."
Yeah.
But what bothers me is that for 3 years, he doesn't think we do anything.
He's just here.
we got 10,000 square feet space, and I don't think the sheriff, unless I directly, now he has participated in events that we do.
Yeah.
But I think back, it's when I've directly texted him.
I think about
he's not catching it in the email. Oh, he is now.
Yeah.
But my point here is, if you are a precinct delegate or heaven forbid an executive committee member, please make sure we have your email address that you check frequently. And please check it once a week. Can you please check the damn thing? Why are you going to be an active Republican?
Yeah,
they're in the same boat. They're like, well, they're not doing nothing up there. Yeah. Oh shit, we're doing a lot.
Yeah,
Kevin,
I see. I was just thinking that
this place is hopping.
I mean, I've been to a lot of the events, especially recently, and I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen Sheriff Schutte up here.
He has been.
I mean, for an event. I mean, I'm sure he has. It's probably just not one I've
that's very concerning. And me and the sheriff, we're cool. Me and him are we're cool.
Yeah.
He was at our Lincoln Day dinners and this and that because I was sending direct text messages to him.
Oh wow, yeah.
Other than that, he wasn't getting them, and I'm really sad by that. And he would have been up here. Chris Baird is now our party secretary.
I heard that.
And we have not appointed a chief of staff. I may or may not fill the position. I do have someone in mind. Chris is we're tied at the hip in this game.
Well, yeah.
And he's the party secretary, so I still got a chief of staff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was I mean, I don't want to underplay it, but it was technically a role that was
I created.
Yeah.
Now that role was created to help all four officers, but I utilized him the most.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
And But I used to tell the previous secretary and the treasurer, I says, well, call Chris, he'll help you out.
Huh.
But anyways, he is now the party secretary. I don't think anybody voted against him. I think it was unanimous.
Why would I mean Chris is great. I mean,
not everybody likes Chris.
I haven't read it. I mean, Chris is my best friend.
But anyway, he's on. Me and him are on a mission.
Yep.
Oh, we're getting your contact information. We are on a mission to. We're not running into this deal with the sheriff of all people.
Right. No, that is strange. And it's even though it's completely different in a lot of ways. In the last 2 weeks, I have had a email communication with Sheriff Schutte.
Yeah.
I mean, like directly. Hey, I didn't see this email. It went to my spam folder. And like, I mean, not a personal communication, it was professional, but still. That might be also. That was. I think that was his actually sheriff department.
By the way, the email that he gave us is not an official sheriff's department email. But then again, these guys, county commissioners, the sheriffs, the clerk. They don't want political stuff through their county email.
Yeah, I mean, I know a certain clerk that checks his email every day.
So, anyways, jacksongop.org.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, y'all need to check jacksongop.org once a week.
Hey, look how good it looks. I mean, come on.
If you want to know we're not up here sitting around doing nothing, man. I think we're the busiest GOP in the state. Not saying we're the most successful. We're the busiest, though.
Before I forget, because I was going to ask you personally anyway, what I saw you went over to Kalamazoo.
I did go to Kalamazoo.
It was an event of some type?
So Kalamazoo GOP has a monthly coffee hour Thursday. I think it was Thursday or Friday. And it
looked like a big event for a coffee hour.
Well, check this out. So Kelly's been over here and seen our headquarters. I have not made it over there, and they have a beautiful headquarters. By the way, Jackson is way better. We've got the best headquarters in the state. They have a nice facility. They do have a nice place. But I read Anthony Ferlini and Doug Lloyd were going to be the guest. Our coffee hour, come show up, free to attend. I got thinking, I ain't got nothing to do. So I asked Chris if he wanted to go. He didn't want to do. We drove over to Kalamazoo, and they were exceptional host over in Kalamazoo.
That's what you used to put in your post. So I mean, and Kelly, I've met Kelly a few times.
I am not the same kind of chair Kelly is, but Kelly is another friend of mine, and we talk frequently. We have similar counties and similar size parties. They are a little larger, and so we communicate well together, and I'm thankful for that. But I was happy to go over there with Chris, and we didn't get home till like 1 o'clock. It was all morning thing, but they were a wonderful host. And I didn't have that written down, but thanks, Kalamazoo GOP, for your hospitality. Some of this is, by the way, 10X Votes is up and running.
Is it? I haven't checked it.
It is up and running. Lance sent me the direct text. It is up and running. 10xvotes.com.
Lance added me on Facebook. He is a busy man.
Man, is he busy.
Constantly. I've seen him all over the state.
Jackson GOP is hosting a precinct delegate roundup April 18th, 10 a.m. to 3 right here at the Jackson GOP.
There it is.
And if you were an existing precinct delegate, you have to have your affidavit of identity into the clerk by May 4th or 5th.
It says May 5th, no later than 4 p.m.
And
I just highlighted it
there
for
you
everybody.
go. And then if you want to be a precinct delegate,
Same thing.
And we're going to help accommodate that on April 18th, 10 to 3. The clerk will be up here, and I think we'll have a notary up here. You can fill it out. We'll get it notarized, and we'll just give them right to the clerk, and the clerk will take them to the office on Monday, and then you're good to go as a precinct delegate. Do not ever claim that Jackson is not trying to recruit precinct delegates.
No, I haven't seen any other.
I am an establishment rhino chair and a tyrant and everything else, and I'm out to not recruit precinct delegates, and they're totally wrong on that. We are doing everything we can to recruit precinct delegates.
Speaking of establishment, just real quick with the going back to the Gemini thing real quick. There is a point in the budget thing I pulled up that called us one of the SOS candidates establishment.
Was that Ferlini?
Yeah.
You
could assume, but
I hate the titles.
Yeah, like you guys said, I don't understand what it means. Like I told you, you're pretty much. It seems like you're just grassroots until you're in the party long enough, then you just become established. Now you're establishment.
You get elected or whatever.
I don't remember getting a letter.
Yeah. But anyways, we're recruiting precinct delegates on the 18th, man. So check your email or our website, and you can see all about it.
Yep.
And then state convention is Saturday, the 28th, for delegates and alternates. We will be establishing a delegate and alternate text messaging method today or tomorrow, so that we can communicate with one another leading into the convention and during the convention. You can go. There are a lot of events for all the candidates Friday night, and then you just heard announced that Amanda Love is serving breakfast 7:30 to 9:30.
I might drive to Novi and eat Amanda Love breakfast.
Her breakfast.
I'm not waking up that early.
Anyways, state convention. Let's get this convention behind us.
Right. Real quick about the convention. This is clarified in my head, and I'm sure other people had questions. When I was reading through the Gemini, it made me wonder. So the delegates vote, and whoever gets that vote goes to the general, correct?
Yes.
Because it said something in here when the budgets where it's like, if Yatuma doesn't get the nomination, then her campaign is likely to run out of oxygen or something like that. So I was like, did Gemini think that there's more?
No, they're dead in the water. If you don't come victorious out of this,
you'd have to switch parties, like independent or something.
You're just dead in the water.
Yeah,
go hang out with Carla Wagner or something. I don't know what you're gonna do.
At least Carla Wagner can go to the independents. The other guy, I'm not sure because the libertarians don't want him.
But we need that behind us.
Let's get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. We got other things to do. I just announced today the flyer isn't even made.
Nope.
Make sure the date's okay. April 9th, Under the Oak Speaker Series. Okay. Will be candidate for governor, Perry Johnson. So Perry Johnson is coming to Jacktown where we get down on April 9th. That'll be doors open at 5. It'll be a 6 p.m. event. And the Perry Johnson campaign is paying for the food, and it will be free to attend. So usually Under the Oak Speaker Series are $12.
Yep.
They're paying.
Yeah. And with that being said, actually, it's perfect time. I'm not a delegate. I choose not to be. I like where I'm at. But you can come up to these events, and they are very informational.
They are.
There's other methods that I've met with a lot of these people, but these Under the Oak Speaker Series, I've met people and understood way better how politics work. Really,
it's a good way, and they are open to the public.
Yeah.
They don't come. Normally, they're $12. You pay $12. We give you some pizza and some pop and coffee and water and a great speaker, and then we run you out of here, and you go home and enjoy your evening. This one here will be free because Perry Johnson's paying for the food.
Yeah, let's go.
I think we're gonna have some subs and some yummy desserts and stuff like that.
I'll probably be here. I'd like to see Perry
April 9th.
Person. I remember when he ran before.
I've met Perry a few times. He's a very likable guy and a very approachable guy. And I personally like the guy
for being a very wealthy man.
Wealthy and a very old dude.
Yeah.
I like old people.
Yeah.
I was on a podcast yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So there's a local podcast here in Jackson called Prisoner to Painter Podcast.
Yeah.
And
not a bad name, actually.
Nathan, the host, I think how it started is. He had been in a lot of young man trouble and turned his life around.
He was a prisoner, then became a painter.
And became an automobile painter.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. Cool. And he started off, I don't know. I'd see his on the news feed his podcast, and there's a lot of people that had been in and out of prison and things, and I'd watch 10 minutes and move on in life. But he's been stepping up, and he's had like captain for the Napoleon Police Department, Chris Jacobson, on the police chief for Napoleon Police Department. He's had Derek Doby's on, and he had Amador from the Jackson Democratic Party on, and then he had Russ, Leone Township trustee, and had me on. It was cool. It was a cool show. You can find it on Facebook and YouTube, and it's called Prisoner 2, the number 2.
Number 2. Yeah, I was just Googling it. It didn't come up at first.
It's not a podcast like this. I meant to ask Amanda this. He asked this. Every guest, what's your favorite cereal?
That's especially when you start podcasting, you always pick one.
It's one that's often.
Yeah. Lucky I didn't interview very many people for the first couple of years.
So Kevin, I'm a cereal lover. I love all cereals, but my favorite's always been Raisin Bran and like anything that turns the milk to chocolate.
Okay. I don't like the chocolate cereal, but I love Captain Crunch. No berries.
I like either one, but the berries rough you up.
Yeah, I don't mix my mouth up.
But I haven't eaten a bowl of cereal in probably 3 years.
Oh,
because they're bad. But man, when they ask me that, I'm like, I like all cereal.
I haven't eaten a bowl of cereal since I stocked a bunch of cereal.
I was going to ask Amanda what her favorite cereal is.
That would have been a good one.
Amanda, if you're still listening, text me what your favorite cereal is. Send it over. Is that what we're eating for breakfast Saturday?
Probably.
Fruity Pebbles. And then this Thursday, this just happened yesterday. This Thursday, I already mentioned it, 6 o'clock, Jackson GOP headquarters, Monica Tumut, Canada, for Secretary of State, is going to feed us some subs or something like that. And she's going to introduce herself again to the delegates. So,
all right.
And then next Monday's podcast host is already booked. And that is Mr. Garrett Soldano, former candidate for governor, podcaster here in Michigan. He has wrote a book called Men Are Forged, Not Found. And then just a little comment here: through discipline, responsibility, and action. But anyways, Garrett has written a book, and he is going to be on the show next Monday to promote his book. So I guess you can get it on Amazon. It's called Men Are Forged, Not Found. I told somebody to order the book. I don't know if I'm going to have time to read it, and I got a lot to do this week. So I don't know. If I find time to read it, I will. If not, I'm going to wing it like I do every podcast with the Garrett on here. But Garrett Soldano, if you know how Garrett is, he will explain it pretty well. He's pretty easy to talk to and a great communicator. So we are welcoming Garrett Soldano to the show next week on the Stick to the Plan podcast. Kevin stepped out of the room for a minute, so I guess I got to keep talking. And he controls the website page, or else I would look at that. But yeah, jxngop.org for everything you need to do. Like I said earlier, man, I think we are probably one of, if not the busiest GOPs in the state. We do multiple things a month. We are always, we leased this 10,000 square foot beautiful space for a reason, and that is to accommodate events, not only for ourselves, but candidates, and the list goes on and on. So jxngop.org. By the way, you can come up here and check us out anytime you want. We do have office hours with office volunteers. Monday and Tuesday we do 1 to 5. Mm-hmm. Wednesday, Judy's up here
all day,
10 until 5. And then we come back on Thursday, 1 to 5. We will expand those hours in the next couple of months as we get in the campaign. We'll probably at least add Saturday to that. Mm-hmm. So, but guess what? You know where you can get our hours at?
Right here on the jxngop.org.
And our phone number, which doesn't ring directly to my phone anymore.
Weird.
Thankfully, we pay a fee to have something else answer that. I am done. That is it for announcements.
Awesome. Then I don't have anything either. By the way, just because he mentioned it, if you don't know, it's inside the Commonwealth Commerce Center here in Jackson. 3rd floor, Suite 320.
By the way,
plenty
of free parking.
Oh, all the free parking.
Get this. I had somebody twice. Oh, man, I'd love to go to that event, but that downtown parking. Wait a minute. We are at the Commonwealth Commerce Center, downtown Jackson, that has its own free parking. Right. You never worry about downtown parking mess when you come to a Jackson GOP event.
And it's crazy. I mean, growing up in Jackson my whole life, this building's always been here, and I've never really thought of it as anything until I've obviously been here much more. But there's a lot going on in this building.
By the way, they've been rocking it with events.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
On the weekends, Saturdays especially, I think she told me they had the portable bar up here for the chili cook-off. They had like 4 other events that day for the bar.
I saw when I was leaving that night, there was like some kind of party. They're coming in.
They're rocking it.
They're all the same type of people. Like,
so, by the way, I'll throw a plug out for the Commonwealth Commerce Center, but the rent is cheap. Cheaper than most places. They can accommodate any size office, retail space, anything you need like that. Storage. Come on in here and talk to management anytime. Here's the benefits. Plenty of space, beautiful. The space they rent is very accommodating.
Yep.
Utilities are included.
Your common areas are very nice and very professional.
Right. This is an old building. There are some things that need some updates here and there, but normally you don't notice them.
No. Like the main hallways and things like that are very, very
They've
nice.
done some fresh painting. The entrance looks good.
It looks really good out there.
Yep.
The elevator doors.
Yeah. The entrance to both sides of the building look great. Inexpensive rent, and it accommodate any size. We have 10,000 square feet. We used to have, what would you say that down there? 300, 200 square foot?
Probably. 15 by 20 maybe.
And guess what? Free parking for you, your staff, and your clients or customers.
Yeah. They don't charge a dime.
Why would you rent anything downtown Jackson
and make them pay for it?
And then you don't know where the hell your employees are even going to park. You don't worry about that here.
No. Well, I mean, if you worry about it, then you got to pay for it. You don't
got to pay.
Yeah.
So
screw that.
Plenty of free parking.
Yeah.
Jackson GOP. You have an event here, don't worry about the damn parking.
No. Or if you come to an event here, actually, and they still are doing a ton of events outside, I've noticed already.
Every Saturday.
Is that a garage sale or something?
Every Saturday there's a garage sale. Even through the winter, they do that.
I saw them
in the way corner.
People,
it's a parking lot sale every Saturday. They've done that for a couple of years.
Oh, well, that must work for them.
We've had a couple events out in the parking lot. They're kind of fun.
Yeah,
every time we've done it, though, it rained.
Motorcycle. You did the motorcycle.
Yeah,
poker run or whatever.
All right.
Anyways, that's
talking.
it. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Garrett O'Donnell next week.
That's going to be a great show. Look forward to that. Go to Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/STTP pod, and that way you can give us money if you want.
We like money.
We do like money. So we're going to get out of here as soon as it loads. Sorry, Rumble is being slow.
He says that every week.
It is. But we will. Yeah, we do it every Monday at 2:00, guys. So come and see us. Where? What? Oh, there it is. All right, bye.
You've been listening to a Grandma's Boy Media Production.
Welcome to the Stick to the Plan podcast. Michigan's elite political podcast is about to begin, live from the birthplace of the Republican Party.